Hey guys, what's going on? It's Ben here. I am back again today doing another video, and the subject of today's video is going to be a fun one. We are going to be talking about the hit classic TV show Who's the Boss, and getting down to the root answer of who really was the boss. So if you're unfamiliar with the hit TV show Who's the Boss, let's run down some of the particulars. A show starring Tony Danza and Judith Light. Tony Danza was fresh off of the hit TV show Taxi, and Judith Light had been in a couple movies and shows here and there, but this was really like her first big breakthrough. She had previously been a daytime soap opera actress, and this was like her first primetime TV show. Along with them in the cast feature, their characters' names are Tony, and besides that, there's let's see here. What's the woman's character name? It's I believe okay, Angela is the mom character's name. And then they each have children. So Tony has a daughter named Samantha, and Angela has a son named Jonathan. And then there's Angela's mom named Mona, who is sort of like an older cougar, like looking for young men kind of role. So additionally, if you're unfamiliar with the show, it ran from 84 to 92, so kind of in that same time frame as shows like Cheers and Full House. And this was sort of like a contemporary or like a competitor to Full House in that it was a show where the premise was the wife is in charge and the man is like doing housekeeping and child rearing tasks. So kind of like Full House in that aspect, that a lot of the men on Full House were doing the child rearing. So similarly, the main premise of Who's the Boss, if you're unfamiliar, is Tony Danza's character is a former Major League Baseball player who is in need of money because he doesn't have much, and so he basically takes up a housekeeping job that he finds listed, and him and his daughter move in with the person who's looking for a housekeeper, which happens to be Judith Light's character, who is works in advertising and is very busy and needs somebody to take care of the house for her. And basically the title of the show comes from the concept of, typically in this time, the man would be seen as the boss of the household, but in this show they flipped that on its head and they made the woman the boss and the breadwinner, and the man is the housekeeper and doesn't work outside the home. And so it created this classic 80s dilemma of who is the boss then? Because Tony Danza's character, while doing some of those more domestic tasks, was also very smart, very streetwise, very confident, he was masculine and doing these kind of traditionally at the time seen as feminine tasks at the same time. And so it really created the dynamic of who was the boss, so to speak. And so I think, really if we're going to get down to who was the boss, we need to look at some of the main things. To me, you first look at who was the creators, Martin Cohen and Blake Hunter. So between the two of them, who was the boss? I would say because of top billing, it's Martin Cohen. And then you look at the studio that produced it. So let's take ABC. So ABC is of course an affiliate of Disney, and Disney at the time had just had the death of Walt Disney. But let's get into who was the CEO of Disney at the time, and that will really lead us to knowing who was the boss. I believe it's Iger right now. His name's, I think, Bob Iger. But let's find out who is the acting CEO. Okay, Bob Iger. He is the previous he is the current CEO. Or no, Bob Chapek. But Bob Iger is like the key guy. Let's see here if it has a person who he was preceded by. Michael Eisner. Michael Eisner was the head of Disney from 84 to 05. So this was really the big higher up who is in charge of all things Disney, which includes ABC. So Michael Eisner would be the head man on campus after we had the death of Walt Disney. If that's a little too high up for you and you want something more granular, we could just go to ABC, the child company of Disney, and say, okay, who is their CEO right now? Key people, Dana Walden. Okay. So she is a businesswoman for Walt Disney Television, but let's see here. There's got to be more of a history of who the CEO was here. Let's see, James Goldston. Maybe that's the man we're looking for. I do not think so. He's only 52, so he would have been like 20 when Who's the Boss was on TV. And I think actually the reporting must go up through Disney, because there isn't really a CEO of ABC because it's a child. It looks like it's a child company. So like while Dana Walden is the CEO, she ultimately just reports up through the Disney chain of command. So yeah, the boss is going to be that Michael Goldston, I think was his name that we came across a while ago. Let's see if that, yeah, James Goldston. Oh no. What was the, I'm hopping around a lot here, guys, but I'm trying to remember what that other man's name was. I think his name was Michael something. Let's go back to Disney. We'll find it that way. Okay. So Bob Iger's the current guy. The one before him was Michael Eisner. So yes, Michael Eisner was the boss from a company sense. But within the grounds of the show on ABC, was Michael Eisner the boss? Probably not. They probably delegated some control. So right now we're sitting on Martin Cohan. And how did I delineate that? Because he has top billing over Blake Hunter. So between the two of them, he's probably more of the boss. Now, even getting more granular into the context of the show, we have the cast of Tony Danza, Judith Light, the kids, and the old mom. So Tony Danza gets top billing. He's the way bigger star. He'd been nominated for Emmys before this for Taxi. He's the only cast member of the show to get nominated for any series awards. He got nominated for 4 Golden Globes for his turn on Who's the Boss. So right then you kind of lean towards him being the boss, because he really is the leading person of the show, and he was the biggest name recognition on the show, and he get top billing and all that. So if we look at the run of the show, if that can tell us anything, it ranked highest in season 4, 1987 to 1988. And it was 6th in America amongst all sitcoms that year, which is pretty high. And ratings were pretty solid throughout, except for the last season, which looked like everybody hated it. Let's see here if we can find anything else that would let us into this mystery. On the show itself, I'm pretty sure, I don't remember everything because I only watched the reruns when I was a kid, but I'm pretty sure that... Oh, okay, right here. At the end, or at the start of season 8, Tony and Angela finally acknowledge their love for each other. However, the series does not end with the widely expected marriage, but on a more ambiguous note. They were concerned that marriage representing a definitive ending would hurt syndication. And Tony vehemently opposed the marriage, saying it would contradict the original purpose of the show, which was like not to be the traditional man meets woman and marries her and it's a typical life. The point of the show is to be living in an unconventional lifestyle. But I think we can all kind of agree that they were in love with each other, and it seemed like it was pretty mutual. So there's, within the context of the show, between the two of them, Angela and Tony, there wasn't a clear boss. Now the children, these brats were running everything on this show, I remember. Samantha was whipping her dad, as in he was just he would do anything for her, it felt like, and maybe sometimes he would stand up to her, but I don't quite remember, to be frank. So I'm going to say Samantha is our leading candidate for the boss right now. Guest appearances, James Coco. No, he was not the boss. Matthew Perry was on the show in 1990, and although he went on to play Chandler, he certainly wasn't the boss. So apparently the show got started by Martin Cohan and Blake Hunter in 83, and they were kind of trying to figure out, how, let's see here. The producers changed it to Who's the Boss, an open-ended title which hinted that one of the leads could get their own way and be the boss. So that's where the title comes from, I guess. That I don't know why they included that here. Let's see if critical reception has anything to do with it. I think, as I said, you had Tony Danza receiving some Golden Globe nominations, but really nothing besides that. It competed with The Cosby Show. Okay, it doesn't have the same impact as The Cosby Show, but it's not bad either. What a great compliment, I guess. They compared Danza and Light's chemistry to Katharine Hepburn and Spencer Tracy, which is a great compliment because they were married in real life and both Oscar winners. Let's see if there was a spin-off that could determine who's the boss. Looks like there wasn't much of... Oh, there was something starring Fran Drescher, but it was not picked up for a series. And then it looks like something way later. There was a show starring Leah Remini and Halle Berry, which also didn't work out. And here in 2020, there's a revival sequel coming out with Tony Danza, I think, which he would be like 70 years old now. But if you want the ultimate answer, the boss was clearly the cougar horny mom named Mona, played by Katherine Helmond, who is now, I believe, dead. Yep, she died last year. She was 89. What a good life to live. She was also on Everybody Loves Raymond and the show Coach. So if you want to know who's the boss, it's the horny cougar old lady. And that's all I got for today, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. Bye.